Good evening, and welcome to our second Cantors and Company Coast to Coast concert for COVID relief, Songs for Sustenance. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for your support and for being with us this evening. As the COVID pandemic reaches new heights in our country, MAZON needs our support even more urgently. The loss of work for so many this year has created a massive and devastating food crisis in our nation and beyond. At our last concert, we were able to raise significant funds for MAZON, and I am hoping we will top that amount tonight and over the next few weeks. If you have not yet made a donation, or if you are able to give just a little bit more tonight to this cause, please click the link below to help us support MAZON. Every dollar counts, so please do what you can to help us. Another way that you can help us is to hit that like button, and please also subscribe to this channel so we can notify you the next time we go live with a new and inspiring concert. All the links for this evening's artists' websites can also be found in the description below. Tonight's presenters are all gifted and accomplished songwriters, storytellers, and musicians. I am so honored to be sharing this virtual stage with them. This concert is truly historic in that we have representatives from all branches of Judaism with us: Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Renewal, and Reconstructionist. We have unified for this cause to feed the hungry as we share the music of our hearts. Many of us are children of cantors or from clergy families. Cantor Meir Finkelstein is one of those among us, and we will honor him this evening by joining in song with a virtual choir of his most beloved setting, Vador, Vador. The theme this evening reflects upon Shabbat Shirah, the Sabbath of Song. The Torah portion this past week brings us to the dramatic journey to freedom as the Israelites witnessed the parting of the Red Sea. They had to hold their faith strong as they faced their fears and crossed the sea with hope in their hearts. This month has been a tumultuous one, to say the least, as we witnessed an assault on our democracy, an insurrection, and an invasion of our Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Not long ago, we watched the inauguration of President Joe Biden. At his side stood our new Vice President, Kamala Harris, the first American woman to hold this office and the first Vice President of African and Asian descent. We now head into this new administration with prayers of healing for our nation and prayers of strength and fortitude for our leaders. We have hopes for an easing of divisions, reconciliation, and in finding common ground with all of our brothers and sisters. I begin this evening's concert by offering a song of hope with a prayer for the journey. This song parallels the passage from slavery to freedom, from the known to the unknown. All of us are journeying, and we all need safety and protection as we travel toward the promised land. Thank you all for being with us. So now, please get comfortable and enjoy the concert.
Let us gather all of our blessings, though our burdens won't be far behind. Don't give up now, I know we will get there. We will forge ahead, hand in hand. So let's walk together, it isn't that far. We'll let our faith be our guiding star, and we will build a better world, the the future's in our hands. This will be the journey to the promised land. The promised land. The promised land. The promised land. Let's cross over. We'll brave it together. Through the valleys of the unknown, we'll climb the mountain and let love lift us as we rise above, together as one. We will walk together, it isn't that far. We'll let our faith be our guiding star, and we will build a better world. The future's in our hands. This will be the journey to the promised land. The promised land. The promised land. The promised land. Chateau Richeinu, Vitam Sidenu, Vitam Richeinu, Vishalom. Chateau Richeinu, Vitam Sidenu. Don't give up, you gotta believe. It isn't that far. We'll let our faith be our guiding star, and we will build a better world. The future's in our hands. This will be the journey. Oh, this will be the journey. The journey to the promised land. 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 The promised land.
We now travel to Jerusalem in the Holy Land to visit with Hazan Netanel Hershtig. He is the cantor at the Hampton Synagogue in West Hampton, Long Island. We're so honored that you could make the time to be with us and be part of this concert. Tell me a little bit about when you decided to become a cantor.
I don't know if I decided, I just know I found myself, totally engulfed with these sounds. I grew up at the Great Synagogue in Jerusalem, where my father served as a cantor for 30 years. So that's not bad, not a bad place to grow and to learn. Although I don't see myself as necessarily these years a student of cantorial music, I was absorbed with it. It's like every fabric of my being is full of cantorial music.
So a little later on, we will sing together in a virtual choir video and honor Meir Finkelstein in singing his beautiful setting of Ledor Vador.
He's also Ledor Vador. He's a son of a Chazan himself, and he knows Nusach very well. It's funny, not a lot of people knows, but Meir, and my father were very good friends in London when my father was Chazan in Kinloss, and he was a Chazan, I believe, in Dunstan Road. And he actually introduced my father to his voice teacher, Mark Rayful. So they were really very great friends. but their cantorial style is very, very different. Even though they shared the affinity to opera music, and they were, listening for hours to opera together, specifically to Alfredo Kraus, the tenor, the great tenor. But I think that they both developed to something very, very different, something that inspired generations to come, that will inspire generations to come, but without neglecting the roots of the Nusach. And that's what's important. Meir is a hero, yeah.
Before I let you go this evening, please share with us the song video that you are going to present for us.
Okay, so this is actually part of a composition called Emet Ve'emunah, which is recited after the Shema prayers and the evening prayers. It's composed by Zaydel Rovner. I heard it in my childhood from my father at the Great Synagogue. It's a very long piece, so I had mercy on you, and I gave you a much shorter version of that. But the reason why I gave you this text and this composition is because it discusses the Kriyat Yamsuf, right? The splitting of the sea. That's where we mentioned the thanksgiving for that amazing miracle that we experienced when we went out of Egypt.
Well, thank you again for being with us and for traveling all this way to join us this evening. And again, blessings of health and a speedy recovery to your father.
Amen. Blessing to all of you from Jerusalem. Thank you.
are now coming back to the East Coast to meet with Cantor Robin Joseph, who serves as the cantor for Temple Beth Shalom in Hastings-on-Hudson. Welcome, Robin. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thanks, Elizabeth. It's great to be here.
You and I know each other for a number of years, and we've performed together for the concerts for Kol Hazanim. We've worked together also at Eisner Camp, and so it gives me great joy to be sharing this virtual space with you this evening. Tell us, if you would, a song genre that you are drawn to as a music professional.
Folk. I like rock. I like a little jazz. Like a little gospel. There are a lot of different genres that I feel drawn to. And I find myself writing in all those different genres depending on my mood, depending on something that triggers the muse, essentially.
That's so cool. I love that you are able to bend with whatever musical mood you're in. That's really a special gift. A lot of us, me included, we sort of get stuck in a style. And so it's hard to break out of that. So I know that you've also done a lot of writing and directing and acting. And so share with us a little bit about that.
So I've been doing some theater or another since I was a kid, and I've acted, I direct. At one point I was a professional stage manager. And then a few years ago, my husband and I actually met my husband doing theater. He retired, and the one thing that he really wanted to do when he retired was to start a theatrical production company.
I know that you write beautiful music, and you have for many, many years. What will you be singing and playing for us this evening?
The song that I'm going to sing is called Al Tizkaru, and it's a song that I wrote many years ago when I was in an eschatology class, if you can believe that, at the Academy for Jewish Religion in New York. This is where I went to cantorial school, so shout out to AJR. And it's a song about making peace. It's a song about putting your hatred down and finding a new way, and that the Messiah is only going to come when we do the work. And so that was the muse that hit me to write this song.
Robin, thank you so much for being with us, and I'm very excited to hear your Al Tizkaru.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Listen now to what I say to you. The time has come to put your hatred down and get ready for something new. It's up to you to hear the word. You are my witness, says the Lord. Al tizkaru rishonot v'kadmoniyot, al tirpo lanu, hineni oseh chadasha, al tatitzmach lo, tidaru. Mourn what's past. Don't be sad. Find another face. Those are times that were not meant to last. Follow me, and I will show you a new place. Believe in me, I am the one, and my will it shall be done. together with love. Hang on tightly to your faith, and I will bring you to the place. Al tizkuru rishonot v'kadmoniyot, al titpolanu, hineni oseh chadasha, ata titzmach alon, tirahu. Al tizkuru rishonot v'kadmoniyot, al titpolanu, hineni oseh chadasha, ata titzmach alon.
I now want to welcome Rabbi Joe Black. He is the senior rabbi at Temple Emmanuel of Denver in Colorado. Welcome to our concert, Cantors and Company, Coast to Coast for COVID Relief. Welcome.
It's a thrill to be here. Thank you, Cantor. I'm honored. I'm honored.
It's just a thrill to be with you. I've seen you perform so many times at biennials over the years, and I'm just so excited. How do you balance your musical world and your congregational world?
Well, I've been a rabbi for this is my 33rd year, I think, which is pretty amazing to me. And I've always had one foot in multiple worlds, but I'm a rabbi, and I think my music, if anything, my rabbinate is not defined by my music. My music is defined by my rabbinate. So when I write, when I perform, when I teach, I find it's an extension of what I want to do as a rabbi. It's just one of the many tools in my toolbox that I can use to be a more effective rabbi, and it's part of who I am. It's music has always been a part of my life, so it comes through in everything I do, whether I want it to or not. Sometimes.
If you had an opportunity to sing a duet or co-write a song with someone living or dead, who might that be?
I don't know if I could pick. That's an interesting question. I would probably say co-writing with either Dylan or Leonard Cohen, performing with maybe James Taylor. John McCutcheon is this brilliant folk singer who I love and who has a huge impact on my life, as well as David Wilcox, who's another amazing performer. But I can fit in lots of different genres, so it's hard to say.
I wonder if you would share with our audience and with me a little bit about your songwriting process.
Sure. Well, during COVID, I've been doing a lot of writing because it's a way of expressing myself. And I found that I'm spending a lot of time focusing on lyrics and lyricism and music and really approaching it more as a craft. I've actually been honored American Songwriter Magazine. I've won first place in a songwriting lyric contest and then second place recently. And it just has pushed me to just expand my palette, my artistic palette. So I've been spending a lot of time focusing on the craft of song. I'm actually teaching a class in songwriting for Song Leader Boot Camp coming up in February, and it's something that I'm very excited about and exploring more deeply. I've always been a songwriter, but now I'm really approaching it from a very different perspective.
Wow, Mazal Tov on that those accolades. That's really nice. Beautiful. So I know you have a special song ready for us this evening, so I'd love to hear you play it.
Thank you. This is a song called God Plays Hide and Seek. I wrote it a few years ago, and I thought about it, especially in terms of the fact that this is the weekend of Shabbat Shira. One of the things that I love about Torah is it's so real. You know, the Israelites crossed the Red Sea. They saw God's presence. They stood at the foot of Mount Sinai, saw Moses go up. And then 40 days later, they built a golden calf. So finding God, even when God is so present and so obvious, is very difficult during difficult times and even during amazing times. So this is a song about the struggle we all have to find God's presence in our life. It's called God Plays Hide and Seek. God plays hide and seek, leaving trails of crumbs for us to find, twists and turns along a crooked road that winds among the valleys and the peaks. God plays hide and seek. God plays hard to get, feigned indifference to our daily toil. Like a pot, oh, you watch it, but it never boils. Like a sideways silhouette, God plays hard to get. Even when you're halfway through the race and you find yourself in hot pursuit, just take some time, think about the chase. It's not the finish line you seek, it's each step along the route. God plays fast and loose, the rules change daily at a moment's whim. There's no devotion, prayer, or ancient hymn to bring about a truce when God plays fast and loose. Even when you're halfway through the race and you find yourself in hot pursuit, just take some time, think about the chase. It's not the finish line you seek, it's each step along the route. God plays hide and seek, leaving trails of crumbs for us to find, with twists and turns along a crooked road that winds among the valleys and the peaks. When God plays hide and seek, God plays hide and seek, God plays hide and seek, God plays hide and seek.
Wow, so beautiful. What a great message, because it's true. We don't always see God. We have to keep that faith and
Journey.
Love it. Beautiful message. Once again, God plays hide and seek. And thank you, Rabbi Joe Black from Denver, Colorado. Thank you for being with us this evening. We now are traveling to Millwood, which is in northern Westchester, New York, to visit with my dear friend, Lisa Jane Lipkin.
Hi, Elizabeth. It's wonderful to be a part of this amazing event.
I would love to hear about some of the highlights of your career in music. I know that you have been a longtime songwriter and had a career as a songwriter. And also I know that recently you had some cantorial soloist work. So I'd love for you to share some highlights from those areas of your life.
Sure. Well, I think one of the highlights was opening for Steve Forbert, which was super fun. and also sharing the stage with Brad Delp, who, if people don't recognize that name, he was from Boston. And so I've had some fun on stage with some exciting people like that and others. And then in the last maybe 8 years, as I've been doing more cantorial soloist work, what's really touched me and has been really moving has been to sing at the High Holy Days. And it stretched me from my singer-songwriter piano thing to singing a little more classically. And so I had to work hard to learn the material and then to be vocally in condition to do it. And it's always felt like I've been called to go higher. And so it's been really meaningful. And I've always felt very blessed. Every time I step off the bema, I feel like that was a blessing to be able to have done that.
That's beautiful. So another question for you is, if you had an opportunity to sing a duet or compose with someone, who might that person be?
I would love to sing with my dad again. My dad was a huge influence in my feeling drawn to music and studying music. And he had a beautiful voice, even though he wasn't a professional musician. He did actually a little bit later, in his 60s, he did community theater, so he got his time on stage. But we would sing duets together quite a bit, and I really miss him. So when you asked me that question, he's the first one that popped into my head.
I'd love for you to tell me a little bit about the song that you're going to sing for us this evening.
Well, in the spirit of this being an evening about journeying, I chose a song that I wrote for my daughter as she was becoming a bat mitzvah. And it's called Bitachon. And I was studying Musar at the time. That's when we develop our soul traits. And one of them was Bitachon, which was defined as trusting God. And I just thought that was so powerful. And just, of course, in the beautiful Jewish way, it's not total trust in God. It's also trust in earthly things, because we always want things in balance. But I loved the fact that we even have that as a concept of something we want to develop. So Bitachon is the name of the song. It says Bitachon. And then in the chorus, I also use the word ahava for love, and chesed, which is the outflowing of loving kindness. So those words are featured in the chorus. And the song is an offering to my daughter on her bat mitzvah.
Wow. Thank you so much for being with us again. And I look forward to hearing your bitachon right now.
Thank you.
What can I give you on this day? A mother to a child. What can I offer you along your way? Knowing the way is sometimes wild, I can remind you that everything you need is inside. Let that knowledge be your guide. for the mothers? Can you see the fathers? They're always standing near. Bitachon, may you trust in God. Ahava, and love the world. With chesed, may you walk your way and teach what you know through your love, through your faith. Your life's a journey, a sacred journey. Let these blessings go with you. Bitachon, may you trust in God. Ahava, and love the world. With chesed, may you walk your way and teach what you know through your love, through your light, through your faith. Your life's a journey, a sacred journey. Let these blessings go with you. Let these blessings go with you.
We are now going to travel down to Florida to visit with Cantor Magda Fishman, who serves the B'nai Torah congregation in Boca Raton. Welcome, Magda.
Hi, it's so nice to see you.
Tell us, if you would, some highlights from your career, and also if you have any really amazing things coming up.
Starting from my past, I was in the Israeli army as a soloist in the band and trumpet player. And then I was lead in Prague State Opera at Dorian Gray in my earlier journey. And in the recent years, favorite moments. I mean, all stage moments are favorite moments, but highlights was with the Yiddish theater. I was featured at St. Paul Park Summer Stage, and I was very moved because Mandy Patinkin was in the audience, and I got to talk to him, and I was very excited about that. And I'm always so thrilled about the Yiddish theater and performing with the Zalman Mlotek and the Volksbühne. And another moment was Rose Theater Lincoln Center, which I was featured also with my band, then Shoashim Roots. And there are many virtual things happening right now. I'm part of Soul to Soul with the Yiddish theater, and we have a national program that probably will go before this for MLK. It's a program that runs for years. We usually do it down in the Jewish Museum. Highlight is I'm producing with my amazing staff and team and family at B'nai Torah 5 concert series. We have a big concert series every year. So this year it's going to be online. So I'm very excited for what's coming up in our concert series.
Beautiful. And will our audience members be able to find that on your synagogue's website?
Yeah, it's open to the world, to B'nai Torah members and to the wide open world.
Wonderful.
The world became smaller. We're all with each other now. I'm in Nyack with you. People are in Florida with us. Yeah.
So tell us about the song that you have planned for us today.
So one of my favorite songs is wonderful world. And I was blessed to sing it so many times with the Yiddish theater, Yiddish. Nowadays that we're so much, we have so many challenges, and we so much need to notice the trees and greens and roses and all the beautiful things that needs to be noticed to bring us some light. So the reminders of the small things are all in this song. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world with all the challenges and all the pain and everything that was going on this year and throughout history. It's still a wonderful world, and it's up to us to make it even more wonderful. So
beautiful,
that's
beautiful
the song.
Thank you so much for being with us, and everyone enjoy What a Wonderful World.
Thank you for having me.
זה די mer grün und Rosenfein, die schein kein Blit, sie ist mein und dein, und es seht euch zu mir, Sarah prächtige זה די himlen bloi, Wolkenpracht, lichtiger Tag, heilige Nacht, und es seht euch zu mir, Sarah prächtige Kollieren von Regenbogen, in Himmel sehr wie schön, erscheinen euch dem Ponnen von Menschen, wenn sie gehen, sie Chaverim geben Hand, sagen, was macht Aid, sie willen sagen, bist mir lieb, Herr dem Kinds Gewein, bis wachst und lernt, es wird lernen mehr, wie ich will haben gekannt, und es seht euch zu mir, sehr prächtige Welt. צבעי הקשת, יפים ועדינים, חולפים על פני הגשם, על פני העננים, והיום כה יפה, וקל לי כל כך לומר שאני אוהבת אותך. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow, their much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Unezet oisumi. What a wonderful world. Sapach Welt.
We are now going to visit with Cantor Rosalie Will, who is coming to us outside of Washington, D.C. in Maryland. Welcome, Rosalie. Welcome, Cantor Will.
Thank you. Rosalie is just fine. It's really good to be with you today.
So wonderful to have you. So I've read that you are currently working as the Director of Worship and Music for the Union for Reform Judaism. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what that job is and what it entails.
Sure. Part of what I do is to support our congregations in their entirety, all of our communities who are engaged in the reform movement, to think about creating meaningful, safe, relational communities in their worship and music, how to bring people to their sense of spirituality in synagogues, how to make sure that communities have robust music programs in partnership with the ACC to really help congregations vision what's possible in terms of worship, prayer life, deepening people's connection to themselves and their world. So I support lots of initiatives in that area.
I understand that you also run workshops on new worship trends, and I'd love to hear a little bit about what you see coming down the line.
Sure. It has been a really interesting time. And even with all the hardships, sort of exciting at the same time because of all of the shifting and pivoting we've had to do really quickly. I'm passionate about congregations thinking deeply about worship, about the relationship between clergy and congregations. Why are we there? Why does it matter? Why do we even gather to pray? And because of COVID, we've really had to rethink that. And preparing for the high holidays, I was involved in a lot of that work this summer to help congregations think very quickly about online worship and all of those hybrid potential. Part of what I think is sort of going to emerge from that and is next on the horizon isn't so much the how. I don't have a lot of answers to the how, but a renewed sense, I think, in what's exciting of being in relationship with everybody, with all the humans who are involved in our sacred communities when it comes to prayer, when it comes to what people need, when people have come online who weren't able to travel and have felt fulfilled, or even when online worship was hard and it wasn't what we needed or wanted, that we still felt the need to connect with one another.
Over the centuries, right, we've always adapted to able to pray and continue with our worship and our traditions and our rituals. And This is just another pivot. And I know that we will find ways.
We will do it.
So I know you have a special song that you've prepared for us.
This song, Wake Up and Dream, is by Tom Bishop and Ed Tossing. And I heard it years and years ago, was sung by Megan McDonough, one of my sort of favorite lovely folk singers. And it really gives me strength and courage when I also might not want to take that first bold step towards a new world, towards the future promised land, into those busy seas. But this gives me some courage. So maybe it will for us as well. Every life is meant for living. Every song is to be sung. Every gift is meant for giving. It's the same for everyone. by dreamers. Dreams are real, and so it seems that this world was made for dreaming. If we just wake up and dream, you can wait a lonely lifetime for a knock upon your door. Ships are safe inside the harbor, but is that what ships are for? The world was built by dreamers. Dreams are real, and so it seems that this world was made for dreaming. If we just wake up and dream, there's a time for every person. There's a space for everything, and from every situation, what we take is what we bring. You can wait a lonely lifetime for a knock upon your door. Ships are safe inside the harbor, but is that what ships are for? The world was built by dreamers. Dreams are real, and so it seems that this world was made for dreaming. If we just wake up and dream, oh, the world was made for dreaming. Can't we just wake up and dream?
Cantor Rosalie Will, so beautiful, and such a wonderful and profound message in the song Wake Up and Dream. Thank you so much for being with us. It's been an honor to spend this time with you.
So great to talk with you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Stick around for our virtual choir video a little bit later on. We are now going to travel to the city of New York to visit with Hazan Basia Schechter, who is the Hazan at Romemu, this wonderful synagogue in Manhattan, and also has a satellite in Brooklyn, New York. Welcome, Basia.
Thank you so much for having me. And here's the sounds of New York. If you hear them in the background, just enjoy the honking and the noise and the traffic. It's really a thing.
It is. It's a hustle bustle in New York. If you're not from there or you haven't spent time there, it sometimes takes a little bit to get used to, but there is no place like New York. So Basia, tell us, I know you play a number of instruments. Would you share what some of those are with our audience?
Sure. I started with Middle Eastern percussion with like doumbek and rick and frame drums. So I started with like the Middle Eastern percussion. Then I moved to guitar. You know, when I was in college, I started playing guitar. And then I got inspired when I was traveling by instruments like the oud. The oud is an Arabic, Turkish, more of like a Middle Eastern instrument that is 11 strings and looks like a pregnant woman, but wooden. A wooden pregnant woman with a broken neck, but it's a bent neck, and it has quarter tones. It doesn't have frets in the same kind of way. So I play that, and then I dabble a little bit in saz, which is another instrument that's very Turkish and not Arabic. And sometimes I just hang out on a shruti box, which is so nice and easy because all you just do is squeeze it.
Are there places in studios or music stores in Manhattan or elsewhere that you can actually experiment a little bit with one?
Actually, totally. There's a place called the Music Inn on West 4th Street in the Village, and they have all the eclectic instruments from all over the world.
Tell me about the beginning of your career as a Hazan and how you got into this work.
I got into to being a chazan kind of because of a life change. I mean, I was a touring musician, recording. I had a band called Pharaoh's Daughter, and we toured and traveled and recorded for many, many years. And it was clear at some point that I actually wanted to become a mom. And so I started the process of, becoming a mom. And I realized I was single at the time. I knew that I was going to need a little bit more of an anchor and stability in my life if I was going to bring a child into the world. So I explored either social work or cantorial. And after speaking with Jack Kessler at Aleph, and after having a very lively, hilarious conversation with him, I was just like, okay, I'm just doing this. This is what I'm going to do. This is the Judaism that speaks to like my soul. It's like it resonates with everything that I'm interested in about my Judaism and doesn't take as seriously the parts that I'm not as devoted to.
Amazing, amazing journey. So tell us, please, what song you are going to share with us this evening.
So we are just leaving Shabbat Shira behind, but I don't want to leave it totally behind. I want to bring something from that incredible parsha of Bishalach, which is the Song of Miriam. Ashira ki ga'oga asus v'rachvora mavayam. That's what she's singing. And those words are just, I will sing because the horse and chariot of Pharaoh's army got drowned. In the moment that something is happening, we are basically singing the emotional experience at that moment. She distilled Moshe's long, beautiful Az Yashir into one line. She brought out the timbrels, she brought out the dance, brought out the passion. And she's just witnessing what she sees. It's called Shiru. Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam 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 vayam Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam Dai 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 Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram avayam Shiru Ladonai Ki gahoga susferach voram rama 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 rama
Hazan Basya Schechter. Wow, that was magical. Thank you for bringing your spirit and magic to us and for being with us this evening. And now we are going to travel to Atlanta, Georgia to visit with Beth Schaefer, who is the cantorial chair at Temple Sinai of Atlanta. Welcome, Beth Schaefer.
Thank you. So nice to be with you.
It is such an honor to have you here with us. So tell us, if you would, a little bit about your songwriting process.
I feel like I've been a songwriter for decades, since I was a kid. And I think most songs I go at it from two directions. I have a catalog on my phone of little melodies that I've sung into my phone for years. There's over 300 of them. And so I kind of keep all of these little musical cells in my pocket in case I'm looking for something. And sometimes my place of writing begins with the melody. And then I'm in constant search for the words that want to live in that melody. So I have lots of melodies to choose from when I start from the other direction, which is I'm inspired by something, or I'm troubled by something, or I'm trying to process something, an emotion, an event, and I want to write about it. And so I start to, paint with words and see if the words themselves sing themselves to me, whether they have a certain meter or rhythm or something where they just have their own melody. And if they don't, then I very oftentimes will go back to that catalog of little musical ideas and see if there's a marriage there. It's a very intimate process. It's a real soul-searching process, and it's, I think, the truest method of expression for me.
If there is an artist, a singer, a songwriter that you would want to have an opportunity to duet with or compose with, living or not living, who might that be?
I'm a big Bonnie Raitt fan.
Yes.
I'm a Stratocaster girl. She's a lead guitarist that's got chops, and certainly someone who I've admired and wanted to, be cool like her. And, she's got a awesome gritty voice, and she sings with a lot of soul. And gosh, that would be really, really fun.
I love it. All right, Bonnie Raitt, if you are listening, Beth Schaefer's got chops too.
Well,
you know where to find her. All right. So I know you have a song you mentioned that you'd like to sing today, and I would love to hear it.
I'm happy to share a song. I wrote it a couple of years ago, and clearly our nation has been going through a challenging period, and I think there have been a lot of fundamental things on the table that I never thought would be threatened or be threatened in this time. I feel like I thought we had made had made so much progress in our development as a nation and as a compassionate nation and a nation of acceptance. And it seems like we've taken some steps backwards on things that I never thought we would backpedal on. And, we're entering a season of freedom, and where we give thanks for our ability to exercise free will. And it's a cornerstone of Jewish life and of Jewish thought and of Jewish being. And what are we going to use our freedom for if we don't use it to protect what is good and what is just and what is merciful? And when we look back on this time, history will record this time, and it'll beg the question, what did you do? Where were you? How did you use your voice? How did you use your freedom? And so, so this song, History Will Ask, begs the question. And I just hope and pray that every one of us has a good answer. Freedom's held hostage by hatred and fear, crying a desperate cry. Who will come running? Which ones will hear? Which ones will turn and deny? Mercy's been challenged by a dangerous sword, held by an angry hand. Who will go save her? Who'll strike a chord, proclaiming throughout the land? Rally the angels, there's work to be done. Go sound the trumpets, come all, come one. Justice is calling that we lead the way, and history will ask what we did on this day. Goodness is begging that we listen close and rise to an ancient call that asks us to stand up against all her foes and fight until each of them falls. Rally the angels, there's work to be done. Go sound the trumpets, come all, come one. Justice is calling that we lead the way, and history will ask what we did on this day. No time for silence, no time to wait, no time to gamble humanity's fate. Rally the angels, there's work to be done. Go sound the trumpets, come all, come one. Justice is calling that we lead the way, and history will ask. Rally the angels, there's work to be done. Go sound the trumpets, come all, come one. Justice is calling that we lead the way, and history will ask what we did on this day. History will ask what we did on this day. History will ask what we did.
Beth, such a strong message, such a beautiful song. I was really moved to tears almost, with all we've witnessed this past month. So thank you for being with us. Stick around for the virtual choir video later on, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
We are now going to travel across the country to Los Angeles County to visit with Cantor Chaim Frankel in Pacific Palisades. And Cantor Frankel has served the congregation Kehillat Israel for the past 36 years. And boy, we are honored that you are here with us this evening. Hello.
Hello to you, and it's my honor to be part of this wonderful project. Thank you for including me.
Absolutely. It is my honor. So tell us, if you will, when you knew that you wanted to be a cantor and how this whole thing came about for you.
I was born and raised here in Los Angeles, California. My father was a European chazan. I was born here, but he was from Europe and served in other places throughout the nation. And I loved being the son of a cantor. My father was very, very wise. Olav Shalom Chazan Uri Frankel. He said, you know what, you should probably learn the cantorate and have it as something to fall back on whenever you decide to do something professionally. So I studied with many of his colleagues and of course with him, and that living in community, literally living, working, and establishing roots in a community is the greatest gift and blessing. It's not the 9-to-5 job. It's the 24/7, 365 job. But I love that aspect of growing up with people and, you know, extending your family tree to not just your immediate family, but to your community. And then slowly evolved, and in my early 20s got the job that I auditioned for here in Pacific Palisades. And so as I say to people, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up.
I love it.
And Meir has been a part of my family as I have been a part of his for decades and decades. And I love everything that he does. Ingenuity by our colleagues has been spectacular. It's been a great joy to see what our colleagues, including you, especially you, and kol hakavod to you for doing what you've done in terms of bringing Jewish music and introducing it to the entire world, every aspect of the globe. So the Hallelujah was something I was able to do. We live close to the ocean, so I was able to do it there because it's the grandness, you know, the grandiose nature of the world, and includes some pictures and feature some beautiful the awesomeness, because that's what Hallelujah is, the praise of God and the awesomeness of our world. And the wonderful film editor David Hillenbrand put it together and made it look like we have all of these incredible choirs with us, just to show that Hallelujah is such a universal term of praise and of expressing gratitude and awe to the Almighty. So it's going to be Meir Finkelstein's Hallelujah, and I hope everyone enjoys and finds it meaningful and touching and moving.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cantor Chaim Frankel, my friend, my colleague. And I hope we all can sit back and take in the beauty of this song video, Hallelujah by Meir Finkelstein.
Hallelu el bikocho, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelu birkiyahu zo, Hallelu birkiyahu zo. Shofar, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, b'minim ve'ugah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, v'tzilzelei shama, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, v'tzilzelei truah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah el bikocho, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah birkiyahu zo, Hallelujah birkiyahu zo, kol anshamot Hallelujah, 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 kol anshamot
Now we are traveling to Houston, Texas to visit with the amazing Cantor Meir Finkelstein, who has written some of my most favorite liturgical music. He is currently serving the congregation Beth Yeshurun. And welcome, Cantor Finkelstein.
Pleasure to be here, Elizabeth. Thanks for inviting me.
Such an honor to share this with you and to have you be a part of our Cantors and Company Coast to Coast for COVID Relief concert series.
I'm proud to be part of it. It's wonderful.
So the first question I have for you is about how you go about your songwriting for composing the liturgy that you have gifted us with.
I treat composing for the liturgy just like I would a classical piece of lieder. So I look at the prayer, I see what it means. I make sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly with correct stress points. And then that usually helps to bring a melody to my mind. And then those two gel, hopefully. And after a while, I hope I'm writing something that is memorable and people want to sing along with.
When did you know that you wanted to become a cantor?
Well, I like to tell people I was born on the bema. This is my late father was a cantor, and I have an older brother, Aryeh, who was also a cantor and is now retired. And my father took the two of us when we were kids onto the bema, and he said, "You're going to be accompanying me from now on." And when I was 14, believe it or not, I got a position as a cantor in Glasgow, Scotland. And my career began all those years ago when I was 14. But believe it or not, when I was 16, I moved away from home to another city in north of England and got the job as a cantor there and went to high school during the week. And I actually lodged with the rabbi and his wife of that synagogue.
Amazing. So share with us, if you would, some of the major highlights of your very long career.
Well, it started all the way back when I was 18. And when I became a cantor of a very well-known shul in London called Golders Green Synagogue. And the cantor who was there before me had just retired after 50 years. So here I was, 18 years old, and there was a big to-do in the congregation whether they should hire someone so young. And I had to go meet with the chief rabbi of England and to get his okay. And, the rest is history. So I actually became cantor there and emigrated to this country and got my first position here in Wilmette, Illinois, Beth Hillel congregation. And from then went to Los Angeles. And I was cantor in Sinai Temple in Westwood for 18 years. And it was there where I actually started composing. All the pieces that people are familiar with, it all happened there in Sinai Temple. Because for the first time in my career, I had an organ and I had a choir, a professional choir, every service, every Friday night and Shabbat. So it just opened up the floodgates and I felt very free to compose. At the same time, I was also working in Hollywood, and I was lucky enough to get some opportunities to write music for Dallas and Falcon Crest, all these early shows. And most importantly, I got a chance to work with Steven Spielberg. After Schindler's List, he made this wonderful organization, Survivors of the Holocaust, and a documentary ensued from that. And somehow I got lucky enough to write the music for that documentary, which is called Survivors of the Holocaust. Apart from that, I also wrote a major work called Liberation, which was in honor of the 50th anniversary of liberation of the Holocaust. And it was put on by the LA Philharmonic and the LA Master Chorale, 120 voices, and hosted by Billy Crystal. So these two were very major events in my life.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you for bringing so much beauty to our world, our Jewish world, but also to the world at large, and for sharing this gift and for opening your heart to receive the music from wherever it comes from and jotting it down so that we can all really be enriched by these beautiful masterful works of yours. So we are, as a group, going to sing with you. We are going to be your chorus on your beautiful Ledor Vador. And I wonder if you would just introduce it before we go into that video.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that you hope somehow you get inspired. You don't know where it comes from. And Ledor Vador was one of those pieces in my career, probably 99% perspiration, as they say, and 1% inspiration. And you work really hard to get something meaningful. But sometimes a composition just, from beginning to the end, it just happens. It's as if you're dictating it. And this is what happened with Ledor Vador. And I was actually commissioned by a member of congregation of the Sinai Temple to write something for his daughter's bat mitzvah. And I looked in the Siddur and I thought, well, I haven't actually set Ledor Vador. So that's what happened. I sat at the piano and it just happened from beginning to end. And when I introduced it to the congregation, they just all of a sudden put their arms around each other and started swaying. And to this day, if you go to Sinai Temple or watch on TV, you can see how they're all having arms around each other and swaying as they're singing Ledor Vador, 1,000 people. So it caught on, as they say, and I'm very gratified for it.
And we are so honored to be able to sing this with you as our soloist, and to honor you again for everything that you've given us, the Jewish world, and for your gifts. And thank you for being a part of this project to help us inspire others to want to donate to this great organization of MAZON so that we can feed some people. And I know that everyone watching is going to be, I'm going to encourage everyone to sway along with this gorgeous, gorgeous melody and allow yourself to be lullabied by it and by its message. And Meir, your work will go on from generation to generation, always. So Godspeed, and thank you again for being here.
All the best.
Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Agi God Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushatcha.
thank you again for joining us for this Cantors and Company Coast to Coast concert. I want to thank everyone who made this evening's concert possible, and once again thank all my guests who put so much time and effort into making this evening's concert magical and inspiring. I bid you all a good night. Stay safe. Hope to see you again soon.